living through the golden age of dinosaur discoveries. All over the world, a whole new generation of dinosaurs has been revealed. From the biggest giants and the deadliest killers to the weird and wonderful. From the Arctic to Africa, from South America to Asia. In just the last few years, we have uncovered the most extraordinary fossils, exquisitely preserved and tantalizingly intact. Combined with the latest imaging technology, we have been able to probe deeper and reveal more than ever before. It gives us our first truly global view of these incredible animals.
A small herbivore walks through a forest. Covered in feathers, she looks for a place to lay her eggs. She begins to dig. It is the middle of the Cretaceous. Around this time, Antarctica was still connected to southern Antarctica. Antarctica was much warmer, consisting of forests, rainforests, and swamps. Antarctica would not cool down for another 80 million years. Despite this, there would be several months of darkness. Antarctica being connected to South America and Australia allowed many animals to migrate to Antarctica, from marsupials to insects to dinosaurs. Along the forest floor, small animal scurries. This is a male Lelanosaura looking for food. Small pockets of this 3-foot dinosaur have migrated here from Australia. The male is feeding. Lelanosaura is adapted to these changing climates. Normally during the winter, they survive by hiding in the heart of the forest. But now in spring, they emerge out of the forest to feed. They have large eyes to find food during the winter. He is small and nimble. This allows him to quickly get away from predators. And plenty of predators there are. This amphibian is called Koolasuchus. He has massively powerful jaws, weighs half a ton, and is a carnivore. It is the last of the temnospondyls, a group which existed long before the dinosaurs. The group includes the Metaposaurus, which existed 100 million years earlier. In the water, he is lethal. However, on land his legs have trouble dragging his bulk around, and is no threat to the little dinosaurs. And now for him is a journey of 200 meters to get back to the river where it will spend his entire summer. In most of the world, competition from crocodiles have drove these magnificent amphibians to extinction. And here, the last species of temnospondyle remains. As spring takes hold, and the days grow longer, a forest bursts into life. Many of the plants here in these unique conifer and fern forests have adapted to lie dormant during the dark of winter, and not until spring will be able to photosynthesize again. The male Lelanosaura is at his area. He feeds on the new spring growth. He must always stay alert for danger, because hungry eyes are lurking in the shadows. A Megaraptoran, a summer visitor from lands in the north. The Lelanosaurus spots him and runs away. The Megaraptoran is the largest killer in these Antarctic lands. The Lelanosaura was lucky. The Megaraptoran only wanted it out of its territory. If hungry, it could catch it. There is an abundance of life over theseplar lands, such as this 14-foot dinosaur Timomus. As the small Coelurosaur drinks, something large comes. It is the approach of a herd of large herbivores. A huge herd of Muttaburrasaurus has arrived from Australia. For the last 2 months they have been migrating 800 kilometers from the coast of Australia down to the south. These dinosaurs move toward the pole every year to strip the lush vegetation and find secure sites to lay their eggs. The herd has a massive impact on the forest. Each adult weighs 3 tons and plucks vegetation several meters off the ground. While feeding, they keep in touch by making trumpet rolls with their specially adapted noses. Another summer visitor from Australia is the Ankylosaur Carnivorasaurus. Growing up to 8.5 feet long, this ankylosaur migrates here to feed on the vegetation. Its thick armor is perfect defense from predators such as megaraptorans, as well as a thick tail to defend itself. The male Lelanosaura begins to gather food for the winter. He doesn't migrate, he stays here. So he must get enough food while the plants and fruit are still lush and ripe. The winter is cold, even when it was much warmer during the Cretaceous. It becomes dark for months. However, luckily for the male, he has feathers to keep warm. The male Lelanosaura is solitary. Females and young live in groups, but for the male, with the exception of during mating season, the male stays solitary. However, something is approaching him. He spots it intruding his territory. He quickly makes a run for it. However, it isn't a predator. It is the sauropod Ostrosaurus. At 49 feet, this gentle giant feeds on the leaves. However, in doing so, steps all over the male's territory. Being this large makes it basically invincible to any predator, even feededly megaraptorans. The sauropod marches down the landscape. The male goes down to the watering hole to drink up some water. Underwater, there is danger. However, he is safe up here. A group of Muttaburrasaurus feed by the beach. These dinosaurs are very social. However, this doesn't stop danger. It is a hungry megaraptoran. It surrounds one of the Muttaburrasaurus, stopping it from seeking protection from its herd. However, the Muttaburrasaurus can defend itself. It is larger and has powerful thumb spikes. The Muttaburrasaurus defends itself, while its herd watches and calls for The Megaraptoran has been scared off, and it runs away. Not all hunts are successful. Even the best of carnivores lose more than they win. However, there will be more chances for the Megaraptoran. Deeper in the forest is a much larger abundance in life. From the smallest of insects to medium-sized dinosaurs, the forest is teeming with life. The male has moved into the safer forest. Here there is less predators. There is a more abundance of plants for the male to feast on. As they feed, their stomach holds small stone that they swallowed. This helps grind up the vegetation, so their digestive juices can get to work. By this point, it is full summer and permanently light. The sun will not set for another 5 months. At this time of year, the forest floor around the male comes alive with polar insects, like this weta, out hunting for food among the leaf litter. They themselves are food for larger animals such as this ancestor of the tuatara. It is a reptile, but one surviving from a time before the dinosaurs. It will remain long after them too. Its descendants will cling on in the islands of New Zealand. By the river, a lone Muttaburrasaurus feeds on the plants. These lumbering herbivores eat a large amount of plants. The best plants are by the stream, however there are plenty of mosquitoes. Though dinosaurs have scaly skin, they have soft inner noses, and the mosquitoes goes in there to suck the blood out. This forces the Muttaburrasaurus to move away from the river. Inside the forest, the male Lelinosaura enjoy the summer bounty, and despite the danger, sleep. During these long months of sun, they rely heavily on thigh-padded feathers to disguise themselves among the ferns. However, he is right in the open. His senses have been numbed by something it ate. It isn't the only animal who ate it, and got its senses numbed. This is Cantosaurus. This species can grow up to 6 feet long. Both individuals ate some grapes on the forest floor, while containing the smallest bit of alcohol. It is enough to dull their senses. Normally, Cantosaurus walks on 2 legs, however this individual is using its forelimbs, due to it losing balance after eating the grapes. However, only small animals are affected by this grape. Larger herbivores like Ostrosaurus and Muttaburrasaurus are not affected by this. A young Carniburosaurus has been brought down, and a Megaraptoran feeds on its flesh. The Megaraptoran group has a strange spot on the theropod family Trop. We don't know their closest relatives. Most species are found in the southern continents. Although there is enough meat at the kill for 3 Megaraptorans, it is unlikely the approach of a rival female will be tolerated. She is driven away by the hungry male. A fully grown Megaraptoran will need to eat 100 kilos of meat a week. She will need to hunt something else. The male Lelinosaura is feeding at the edge of the forest. Gathering food for the winter is a difficult task. There are multiple predators and little time. In the time of dinosaurs, Antarctica suffers regular summer thunderstorms that sweep across the polar forest, causing widespread flooding. These floods drive forest creatures together. However, they are normally quick. When there is plenty of food, herbivores can be very tolerant of each other. As this Muttaburrasaurus feed on this large fern, the male Lelinosaura scamper among him, feasting on any leaf that falls. Although a risky harvest, he must take every opportunity, because time is running out. The seasons draw on, and for the first time in 4 months, the sun sets, autumn has arrived, and the forest prepares for a polar winter. Up and down the river valleys, the Muttaburrasaurus sense the change, and begin their long trek north. Occasionally some get lost in the forest, However, what for Themis a minor problem, could be life or death for the Lelanosaura. In the gathering gloom, the Koolasuchus senses the drop in temperature and reluctantly leaves his summer home. Once again, he lumbers into the forest, in search of a suitable shelter to hibernate through the cold, dark months that lie ahead. The low light also triggers a change in the forest plants. They stopped growing and photosynthesis grinds to a halt. Some will shed their leaves, others will lie dormant. The male Lelanosaura begins to move toward the heart of the forest, where it rarely freezes during the winter. However, there isn't enough time before then. Towards the end of autumn, the last day passes in a few minutes, and the long twilight begins. Life in the polar forest faces its biggest killer, freezing temperatures. Some polar creatures, like the weta, have learned to cope with the cold by allowing themselves to become frozen. In the winter sky, the southern lights whip and flicker over the silent forest. Over the forest, it is nearly pitch black. The dinosaurs are still active, but it is nearly impossible to scrape out a living. The male tries to dig roots out of the soil to eat. Temperatures like this don't normally last very long in the forest, but it is still hard times for the male. It moves deeper into the forest. There has been no light for 2 months, and another cold snap forces the male to take drastic action. He has evolved one further adaptation to the cold. It digs parts of itself into the soil and drifts into a state of torpor. In this suspended animation, its body can resist the effects of the cold, however it cannot stay like this for a few days. Outside the forest, animals, such as this lost Megaraptoran, struggle, as even pond and river water is frozen. The first hints of salvation are small. Under his rock, the weta is revived by a slight but sustained rise in temperature. On the horizon, the sun's rays grow stronger, and there is the promise of spring. As spring begins, the Koolasuchus makes his way again to his summer home. The male Lelanosaura has survived the freezing cold temperatures of polar winter. As normal, he walks around the watering hole to feast on any leaf on the ground. Dinosaurs at the South Pole are forced to live in such extreme climate changes, however they have adapted to it. While most large dinosaurs found in Antarctica are simple immigrants from Australia, many stay behind and live in Antarctica. Most dinosaurs such as Lelanosaura that stay in Antarctica are simply small populations of larger Australian ones. They are small dinosaurs like Lelanosaura and Cantosaurus. Due to a lack of food during winter, the largest carnivores that stay in Antarctica full year is Timomus. Lelanosaura is perfectly adapted to these extreme climate changes. Life at the poles is a remarkable achievement for the dinosaurs. But after the dinosaurs disappear, Antarctica will become a frozen wasteland. Through the Cretaceous, dinosaurs will still flourish. In the next episode, you will see an individual from a species existing in quite an extraordinary group. Meet the Acrocanthosaurs.